those concepts what we have explained. I have already shared PPT with you about testing, so that is enough for you to read and to know about what testing strategies are. I hope I am clear with that. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Today I am having very less topic to cover, so we will focus mainly on discussing any doubts with reference to module 4. And then we have went for product metrics for quality of how to check the quality of the product. Okay, that in that we have mainly discussed about function point analysis and problem with reference to it. So all of you should try to learn that concept. It is problematic. I don't think it will come in your examination in a problematic way. Okay, they may ask you in theoretical manner, like explain FP analysis, or else explain about software quality metrics. So such that you should write about FP analysis and different metrics what we have learned. Okay, and finally we are into the last session, that is about metrics for process and product. So how you are going to measure the software quality for a process and a product. Process and product, from the word itself you can understand what it is. Okay, we will go into the notes and we will try to discuss this. It may take maybe 10 to 15 minutes of time. So after this we will be completing our module 4. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me with reference to module 4 in this particular class. And from next class onwards, we will be starting our module 5. So we have already discussed the other software quality maintenance and software quality features which are involved in our previous classes. For today, we are going to discuss about metrics for process and project. Okay, or a product, whatever it is, product or project is one and the same. So process metrics, why we will use the metrics to decide how we are going to measure the process that we have. So these characteristics can be used to improve the development and maintenance activities of a software. Whereas the product metrics or else the project metrics, this metrics describes the product characteristics and its execution. Okay, examples include the number of software developers, what is the time taken to develop that particular software, what is the pattern, staffing pattern, what the life cycle of the software, what is the cost involved in it, schedule and production of that particular product is being mentioned in product metrics. Okay, so how we are measuring, yesterday also we have seen this. So how we are going to measure the process metrics or else the software measurement. So the process metrics can be measured in two ways, that is direct and indirect. So direct way, we are taking the help of lines of code. Okay, so basing on the lines of code, basing on the size oriented metrics, basing on the lines of code, like how many number of lines of code the product is having, and what is the effort that is required to develop this project, what is the cost, what is the performance, what is the error, what are the defects, and how many number of people are being involved in that particular project. So we will be taking all these metrics to calculate the process quality or else the process metrics. Okay, so that is about the errors, defects, the cost that is been kept on the lines of code development, and what are the documentations per lines of code, and what are the errors, what are the number of, how many number of people are involved in that project, all are discussed in this particular size oriented metrics. Next, function oriented metrics, it is nothing but the function analysis in short, what we have seen, like what are the errors, what are the same as the function point analysis what we have taken. If we get any errors or defects in that inputs and outputs or interfaces, we will be measuring in that particular way. And reconciling different metrics approaches. We will be taking the different platforms that we are using, and what is its, we will be calculating mathematically, like what is its average, mean, what is its low value, and what is its high value. Basing on these metrics, we will be choosing which is the right one, which is the efficient which is the efficient product, basing on the function point analysis and its measurements, like we will be calculating the low value, high value, median value, and average values. And we have already discussed about this object oriented metrics and use case oriented metrics, wherein which in object oriented metrics we will be calculating the number of classes and objects that are involved, and what are its base classes and what are its parent classes, and all the subsystem of the main component is being taken into consideration. Whereas in use case metrics, we will be considering all the users and the interfaces that are involved in our use case metrics. So all of you just focus on the first one, that is about size metrics, wherein which we will be directly measuring the software quality, or else the process quality. The process metric, if a question is being asked, write any metrics for the process, you should write about lines of code. Okay, just remember that one process, don't get confused. And when a question is being asked about projects, we will be going to see it. So one more thing about process is object oriented method you can write, use case method you can write, and one more concept in that is web engineering project metrics. So nowadays all the projects are mostly either web or else application development. So whenever we are having a web application development, we will be considering different modules for the quality of the product. So in web engineering, we will be having a static web page and dynamic web page. So we will be considering whether that particular product is, whether that particular process is representing the static pages or dynamic pages, and number of static pages which are there and number of web pages, dynamic web pages we are having, and the linkages in between them. So here whenever we are focusing on the quality of the process, we will be just measuring the lines of code, or else we will be just measuring we will be calculating the number of web pages it have, whether it is dynamic or static, and the linkages in between them, and the data objects that are being interfaced. Okay, you can see from the text itself, like what are the web app applications which is going to decide its quality of that particular process. Okay, so static, number of static pages, number of dynamic pages, number of page linkages, number of persistent data objects, that means whether the data objects that are present in that particular page is complex or not, whether they are been maintaining persistently or not. Okay, number of external systems interfaces, like what are the other interfaces that are externally communicating these web pages. What number of static content objects. So like there will be some static objects, like which will not be having any animation or something else, or no graphical content, or else dynamic is nothing but to include some animation, or dynamic web pages contains dynamic HTML, DHTML, or we will be including some programming language, JavaScript or something, to have it to maintain it in a dynamic way. But whereas in static, there will not be any movement, or else you can only just watch the content and view the image. So the number of objects which are static in your page, the number of objects that are dynamic in your page, and the executable functions, like if there are any script like HTML, DHTML or JavaScript. So whatever the functions you are having in your web page, you will be calculating all those to consider the quality of your web page. So for suppose, if you are considering some web page product, So whenever you are measuring a quality of that web page website, so you need to consider all these modules, like how many number of dynamic web pages the website is having, how many number of static pages it is going to have, what are the linkages in between the objects, and what are the external systems that are being interfaced, number of static images, number of dynamic images, and the functions that are being involved. So you'll be having these main modules, such that you will be testing all these things to maintain the quality of the process. Okay, so this is also important to learn. Okay, not with the perspective of examination, but you can easily write about this, because nowadays all are using the web pages, and everybody know what is meant by static and what is meant by dynamic page. If you don't know, try to learn from today's class. Okay, so if it is a Flipkart website, when the images are static, that means no change, that is called as a static object. Okay, so whenever there is some animation or else some movement in the picture, okay, that is called as a dynamic. If there is no movement in the picture or video or anything, that is called as static. Whenever there is a movement, that is called as a dynamic content. Okay, so basing on that, uh, we will be calculating the values like number of static pages, number of static SP, number of dynamic pages. So finally we will be getting the value like number of dynamic pages by number of dynamic plus static pages. Okay, so this is how we are going to have the value which is correlating with the web application that we are having. Okay, so this is how the testing is being done. So that is all about process. So now let us discuss about the product, like how you are measuring the product quality. Okay, so the main concepts that are relevant with the quality of the product is how you are measuring the quality. So the measuring of the quality are correctness, maintainability, integrity, and usability. Okay, so these measures will provide useful indicators for the project team. So these are nothing but the quality features wherein which we'll check whether that particular product is correct or not, whether the product can be maintainable or not, whether the product is integratable or not, whether it is your integrity is nothing but with reference to the security that we have. Okay, and usable, whether the developed product is usable in all the environments or not. Okay, so we will see what that is. Like correctness, it is the degree to which the software performs its required function, whether the developed product is working correctly or not. Okay, if there are no defects in your lines of code, then the product will be executing as it is. Okay, so maintainability. So if there is any error, if there is any error occurred in your product while in implementation, so it should be maintainable. Okay, so every software requires to be maintainable, because they may get some errors at particular points, such that it should be accepting the changes that is given by the user. Okay, so here a simple time oriented metric is mean time to change. The time it takes to analyze the change request, design and appropriate modifications, implementing the changes, test it and distribute to all the users. So it is nothing but to upgrade or to maintain. That concept comes under maintainability. Integrity, as I said, that integrity is all about security. So in security we will be having attributes called threat and security. Threat is nothing but uh, it is uh, 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 it is an caution that there is a probability to have the attack. Okay, it is not having the attack. Okay, a threat is the probability of what the attack is, and what is the type of attack, and what time of the attack it has. Okay, so it will have the details of that particular attack. And security is to give the probability that the attack should not happen. Okay, security is to provide the future that the attack will not happen. So these are the two measurements which are there in integrity. That is summation of 1 minus threat into 1 minus security. You can easily remember this formula: threat into security and 1 minus its threat and security, and summation is nothing but the number of modules, whatever modules we have taken, all those modules summation we will be doing, that is threat into 1 minus security. Okay, so that is how we are going to know about integrity. Usability is nothing but how much user friendly your product is. Okay, and usability, we are having some measurements like whether the product developed is compatible in all the platforms or not, whether the product is giving whether the product is can be handled by different set of users, whether this developed product is user friendly or not. So these are being considered in usability. And the second one is whenever we have measured our quality, and once we measured our quality basing on these functionalities what we have discussed, the four functionalities like correctness, maintainability, integrity, and usability. Once there are any defects that comes arise after this product development, then this defect removal efficiency comes into play. So defect removal efficiency is nothing but the defects that are being arised while development of the program or development of the product, and after the development of the product also. Because once the testing has been done, okay, unit testing, integration testing, system testing is done, then we go ahead with acceptance testing, that is about alpha beta testing. It may pass the acceptance testing also, and the product is released to the market. Okay, so when it is released to the market, then also some bugs may arise. Okay, it is no we are not sure that yes, we have done all the quality checks, all types of testings are being done: black box, white box, user testing, acceptance testing, system testing, validation testing, all types of testing is done. So we can be confident that we may not get any errors, but for sure we may get some errors. So the errors can be erased after they release to the market also. So at that time we will be releasing the updated version, okay, the modified version, that is will be including the updates of that required software. See, for suppose in your Android software also we will be getting different versions, beta version. So once the beta version is approved, you will get the whole new software. After the software also you may get some updates such that those bugs are being identified, and they are programmed, they are modified, and new software update will be released. So here that comes under defect removal efficiency. So these defects before and after. Okay, so DRE is the defect removal efficiency. When considered for a project as a whole, DRE is defined in the following manner, that is E by E plus D. Okay, E is the number of errors found before the delivery of the software, that is before the entry to the market, whatever the errors that are being found, by the number of defects found after the delivery. Okay, so DRE formula is DRE equals to E by E plus D. E is the errors found before the delivery of the product or delivery of the product into the market, and D is the value, the number of defects or the number of errors that are found in the product after the delivery of the report. Okay, so you will be getting those values. When there are several modules, we will be considering it as EI by E1 plus E2 plus E3 plus so on plus 1. So these activities are found and these are substituted in our formula. So that is all about defect removal efficiency. Okay. So this is light. Okay, I'll mark. So there ends my topic with reference to your syllabus. I hope I am clear with all the concepts that I have covered. So today we have discussed about metrics for process and project or else product. Okay. So we have clearly explained what are the different ways like direct way and indirect way. So you can go through this in the notes that is been provided in your website. Any doubts you can ask me. M6 present. Okay. Any doubts with reference to unit 4? Any doubts with reference to unit 4? Let me